lot of stuff to do today, and I thought I might go live early in the morning. You know what I'm saying, just hoping a lot of people will see this. So, um, let me fix this. So last night, I'm not gonna lie. Last night, it was a great event. I think a lot of stuff that happens was controversial, like the Polio decision, and a lot of people may think the Morale decision that was controversial as well. But I want to say this: I kindly, I finally figured out the zone commentating, especially Sergio Martinez. Right? You got to remember these guys have a job, and their job is to try to make the fight look greater than what it is. Right? And they consistently do it throughout the whole fight. You may see a one-sided fight, and through their lens, it's a close fight. And a lot of times they do that to predict a robbery, right? They may talk it into existence. They may say, "Yo, this fight is close. This is a pick'em fight," when obviously it's not a pick'em fight. When you watching this guy get beat pillar to post, and you're looking at it and you're like, "What are these guys seeing?" But their job is to try to make it look like the zone put on great fights. Now let's start with David Morale versus Shiraz. I believe in the earlier rounds, Shiraz was able to inflict his style on David Morale, and David Morale he wasn't letting his hands go. And another thing, brother, the time you take showboating, right? You should be taking that time inflicting damage on your opponents. David Morale showboats way too much. He showboats way too much. Instead of him finding ways to try to neutralize his opponent, he's spending time showboating. I've never seen this before. Even the reason why he got hurt is because he was showboating. He still decide throughout the rounds he's gonna still showboat instead of fighting. David Morale has a lot of work to do, and y'all can look at it as a robbery. You know what I'm saying? But I believe later on in the rounds, David Morale, what's up? What's up? Hug Vun, what up, bro? I believe later on in the rounds, he was able to sit here and do enough to win the fight. I don't believe it was a robbery like what y'all said. I believe that David Morale was able to do enough to win the fight, but he has a lot of work to do, brother. Man, this is not the amateurs. That fighting style, that Cuban fighting style, is great, but it's not. It's not great. It's not great for professional boxing. David Morale, you did not look good, and at 175 pounds, you no, he can't do it. He has a lot of work to do. But I don't believe it was a robbery. I believe since David Morale was the champion, I believe it was the correct decision. Now let's talk about the Puello and the Sabril Matias fight. Now, I can admit Sabril Matias, he was coming forward, and Puello was doing a lot of excessive holding. I can admit that. But you cannot, at the end of that fight, look at that fight and say that Sabril Matias won that fight. Puello was obviously the better boxer. He obviously boxed the way he wanted to. Sabril Matias was just coming forward. He was just coming forward. Puello was controlling the distance. He was landing a better shot, and in the later rounds, he showcased. I'm doing good. He showcased that he was the better fighter. He was landing sharper shots. He was giving him angles. You know, like it was obvious that they was trying to make up for the decision they made with David Morale, which I believe that David Morale won. But you know what I'm saying? Um, Boxing is disgusting. It don't make sense for you guys to put on the big fights if y'all is gonna be deciding the ending of that fight. It doesn't make any sense. If y'all gonna put on the big fights and y'all deciding the ending of that fight, it doesn't make sense for y'all to put on the big fights. It doesn't make sense. That was a robbery. It was a robbery. That was a robbery. Pollo undoubtedly won. And I ain't gonna lie, they effed up my betting slip too. Cause my betting slip was something like this. I had what you call it winning. I had Shiraz knocking out Edgar Berlanga, and that happened. I had Shakur Stevenson beating on what's his name Zapata, and that happened. I had Puello beating Matias. That didn't happen. I had Morrell beating Shiraz, and that happened. I messed it up. You know what I'm saying? But um, that was a great fight though. And all that was a great fight. I believe Puyo got robbed, and he's been winning close decisions. So you know what I'm saying, that this was gonna happen. But let's talk about the Shakur Stevenson and the Williams Zepeda fight. Shakur Stevenson, Shakur Stevenson, Shakur Stevenson, Shakur Stevenson, Shakur Stevenson. What are you guys gonna say now? What are you guys gonna say now? And I'm not gonna lie, if you watch that fight, it kind of looked like Mayweather versus Chavez. If you watch that fight, Shakur Stevenson put on a great performance. He put on a great performance. Y'all said that he was a runner, and the boy stood in the kitchen. He stood in the kitchen and dished out, got hit, looked like he got hurt, and still pushed the action. Was pushing Zepeda back in the fight a couple times. Like, Shakur Stevenson put on a great performance. And I know this silenced the critics, but you're still gonna have people that's gonna say something negative about Shakur Stevenson. So it doesn't matter what you do in the sport of boxing. You understand? You're still gonna have that negative critic. But Shakur Stevenson proved that he's levels above. He's levels above. And all this talk about him not moving to 140 pounds, I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't get it. He needs to move to 140 pounds. He needs to move to 140 pounds. But that was a great performance from Shakur Stevenson, and he proved that he is elite, and he proved that he's a pound for pound fighter. And anybody don't like it, you just gonna have to accept it, bro. You're gonna have to accept it. Y'all critiqued him the whole entire time, said that he can't stay in the pocket, saying that he was a runner, and he showed you he looked Floydus in that fight. I ain't gonna lie, he looked like Floyd Mayweather in that fight. I can't unsee it. I can't unsee it. The way how he let his hands go, the way how he stood on the ropes with the shoulder roll, he looked like Floyd in that fight. And that was a great performance by Shakur Stevenson. And I'm proud of Shakur Stevenson. And he silenced a lot of critics. He wasn't in his hometown. He was in New York, but he still brought it, and that was a great fight. But what else? What else? Edgar Berlanga. I had Edgar Berlanga getting knocked out. I can show you on my slip. I had Edgar Berlanga getting knocked out, and that's exactly what happened. And the reason why I knew Edgar Berlanga was gonna get knocked out is because I watched it, bro, and I watched the type of punches that bro threw. Like, it's compact and it's straight, but it's sharp. And he put a lot of power in his punches. And I looked at Edgar Berlanga, and I'm like, Edgar Berlanga, he struggled with Canelo, the smaller fighter, and this guy is bigger than Canelo, and he punches hard, and you could tell he punches hard, and you could tell that he's smart in the ring, that he's an intelligent fighter. So when I look at all of those components, and I look at Edgar Berlanga, I'm like, Edgar Berlanga, he got decent head movements, but he doesn't have great head movements. And that guy, whenever he throws punches, he's throwing more than one punches. You understand? And he's placing that punch, and for me, right on the chin or right on in your sternum. You understand? So he was able to caught Edgar Berlanga with a shot that I knew he was gonna catch him with, and he caught him with it, and Edgar Berlanga went down, and I'm like, that's all she wrote. She's not gonna recover from it, and that's exactly what happened. And Edgar Berlanga got knocked out. I just don't believe that Edgar Berlanga is a good fighter. You understand? I believe he's just like, he's a hyped up fighter, and they have a lot of those in boxing, and he just proved that because this guy was able to just go in there and just knock him out that easy. And he wasn't able to show for that. He got heart. He did get up, but heart cannot win fights all the time, bro. You understand? And that proved that in that fight. And congratulations to Edgar Berlanga opponent. I can't remember his name right now, but that was a great fight. That was a great card. My problem is with boxing now, the great fights are being put on, and if it's a close fight, the judges can determine who wins, and that can't be. That can't be. And boxing is going down the drain if that's going to continue. You can't have great fights, and just because it's close, even though the other guy win, the judges be able to choose whoever they want to win. When y'all see that other guy was just a better fighter. We can't have that in boxing, and that's what's going on right now. And I'm telling y'all this right now. Me, I'm different from a lot of people. I do not trust Turkey Al-Sheikh. If you watch the way he was looking at Shakur Stevenson, bro. If you watch the way he was looking at Shakur Stevenson, when he was fighting Zepeda, I didn't like that look, bro. I didn't like that look. I don't trust him, bro. I feel like he wants to use his money to take over boxing, bro. And a lot of people might not see it the way I see it, but I see like he using boxing as an experiment. Like he using his money as an experiment. He knows that a lot of guys are thirsty for money in the sport of boxing, so he using his money as an experiment. I'm telling you, that's what he's doing. He's using his money as a he can determine who wins a fight if he wants to. He has that power to do so. So the fact that y'all don't even see that, y'all just see a guy that's going in there, putting on a great fights. He could put on a great fight, and I feel like he has a lot to do with that Puyo decision because Puyo was fighting the way he didn't want to see him fight. Puyo was holding, he was moving. That's not what Turkey Ali Sheik want to see. He want to see guys standing there. He want to see guys fight. You understand? If you don't give him that, he can say, you know what, I don't like that. You lost, even though you won the fight. I'm not a fan of him, bro. You said how to spar without getting brain damage. You got to be responsible, bro. You got to treat it like it's your life in the ring. You got to be responsible. But yeah, it was a great card, but that was my only problem with it. That was my only problem, and I just can't wait till the fight with Terrence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be an uphill battle for Terrence Crawford, but I'm just ready for it, bro. If you look at Bud looks huge, bro. He looks huge, bro. He looks huge, and I'm not gonna lie, like if Canelo Alvarez can't take Terrence Crawford's power, bro, it's all she wrote. It's all she wrote. And I see Terrence Crawford just stopping Canelo in his tracks. I don't see Canelo Alvarez. I don't see him walking down Terrence Crawford the way I think it's going to work. It's not going to happen that way, bro. That jab, that stop Canelo every time you throw that jab out, Terrence Crawford have one of those, and it's dangerous. It's not just a jab. It's a straight right or straight left. He has a powerful jab, and I just believe he's just gonna outwork Canelo mentally. He's gonna give Canelo different looks. Canelo is gonna have success throughout the fight because it's a part of boxing. But Terrence Crawford is gonna show that it's levels. He's gonna show that it's levels. And when comes September 13th, when he put on a dominant performance like what he did against Errol Spence Jr., he's gonna shock the boxing world. And another thing, what people don't want to talk about too, when Terrence Crawford defeats Canelo Alvarez, that's the two pound for pound fighters on the list on the list he defeated of this generation, Errol Spence Jr. and Canelo Alvarez. Errol Spence Jr. was top 5, and Canelo Alvarez, if I'm not mistaken, he's top 5 right now. Terrence Crawford will be defeating 2 guys on the pound for pound list. That's crazy, Gabe. That's crazy. That's crazy. Errol Spence Jr. was undefeated. He was undefeated. You understand? So like, I'm excited. That card, it was a great card. But September 13th, that's all I care about. That's all I care about. A lot of y'all keep saying that Canelo Alvarez is too big, Canelo Alvarez is too strong, and I keep telling y'all this. Terrence Crawford, he has levels. He has levels that he goes to. There's levels that he goes to. You feel me? Canelo Alvarez, he's limited. He has a ceiling. Terrence Crawford doesn't have a ceiling. That's the reason why in the biggest fight of Canelo Alvarez's career, you see that it be draws and it be close. He don't dominate. He doesn't dominate. He doesn't dominate. He said, bro, you look like an older version of Bud Crawford. You see what I'm saying? Like, does that even make any sense? I look like an older version of Bud Crawford. Does that even make any sense? You know what I'm saying? Like, they just be saying shit. You understand? But that's what Terrence Crawford is going to be able to do. You feel me? I feel like the foot speed is going to be the difference. The hand speed is going to be the difference. The IQ is going to be the difference. And the will is going to be the difference. A lot of people don't understand in order to beat Terrence Crawford, you're going to have the will. You're going to have the will. You're going to have the mental capacity to every time he raises level, you got to raise that level too. And if you look at the way our Canelo Alvarez fight, he just doesn't have the proper fighting style to defeat Terrence Crawford. You said, and if Canelo does beat Bud, you give him credit or will you move? No, I'm going to give him credit. I'm going to give him credit. If he beats Terrence Crawford, I'm going to give him credit. I am not a hater, gang. I'm not a hater. What y'all don't want to understand is Y'all love a cheater. Canelo is a cheater. Your favorite fighter is a cheater. Just admit that he's a cheater. Just admit that Canelo's a cheater. When y'all admit that he's a cheater, then I can say okay. But y'all don't want to admit that he's a cheater. Y'all look at the hair follicle test and y'all still think that he didn't cheat because they gave him an exemption. Because they gave him a hair follicle test a month after he got busted. Nigga, he cheated. Canelo's a cheater. Your favorite fighters, and that's my problem. He's a cheater. How much time he missed weight and he done paid? He done paid. He done paid after he missed weight to raise the weight limit. He did that a lot of time throughout his career. He's a cheater. He's not that dedicated to what y'all think he is. He is a cheater. That's why he likes to fight guys that are smaller. You feel me? And when he's facing off against bigger guys, he's cheating. That's the problem that y'all don't like. Y'all don't like to hear that. Y'all don't like to hear that. And y'all don't like to hear that in the biggest fight of his career, he never really shows out. He never really shows out. Canelo never shows out on the biggest fight of his career. How can y'all talk about his resume when he never shows out on the biggest fight of his? You can talk about how many great fighters he fight, how many of those he dominated, how many of those he knocked out. You can't say the same for Terrence Crawford, gang. And them guys that Canelo was fighting, they was over the hill. Stop talking about Canelo to me. Him and Terrence Crawford is not on the same level. Y'all could talk about resumes, and I meant to make a video about this too. Boxing is not about resumes. Y'all say this. Styles make fights. So how can you look at a guy with the same fighting style his whole career, facing off against the guys with the same fighting style his whole career, and then say that he's a great fighter if that fighting style caters to his fighting style? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Styles make fights, not names. Names doesn't make fights. So y'all can keep talking about how these guys, names. No, it's styles. It's styles. And Terrence Crawford, when we talk about styles, Gamboa don't fight like Mean Machine. Mean Machine don't fight like Victor Posto. Victor Posto don't fight like Errol Spence Jr. Errol Spence Jr. don't fight like Israel Majimov. These are all different styles. Styles make fights, not names. Names can be built. For example, Jerron Bruce Ennis, when y'all was saying, oh, Jerron Bruce Ennis this, Jerron Bruce Ennis that, you put him in the ring with Karen Kuka change. You see how it looked different with what's his name? What's that guy named? Stanionis. You see how he dominated Stanionis? And you see the difference with Karen Kuka change? Styles make fights. Stanionis had a bigger name than Karen Kuka, but Karen Kuka styles made it difficult for Jerron Bruce Ennis. It's not about names. Boxing is trying to trick y'all. Names are built. Names can be built by propaganda. They kept on saying that Danny Garcia was a top welterweight at 147 pounds. How? Because a name at 140 pounds. He didn't do nothing at 147 pounds. But he had a big name. Names are built. Do not listen to them. When they talk about, oh, this guy got a name, just remember that names are built. Don't listen to them, bro. Don't listen to them. So y'all talk about Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez is gonna get his ass whooped. Like I already said it. It's already written in the history books that Canelo Alvarez lost. He's not on the same level as Terrence Crawford. And y'all giving Terrence Crawford the opportunity, knowing that he's leagues above Canelo Alvarez. Y'all must be suicidal or something, bro. Y'all must be suicidal or something. Y'all giving this man the opportunity, right? That y'all was never trying to give him his whole entire career. And y'all think he's not going to dominate Cinnamon? Slow for the Cinnamon that body shot and try to fake the body shot and then go with the uppercut. Like, he's not even that. He's so predictable. Like, he's gonna get his ass whooped. Talking about respect the fight and enjoy. I don't care what y'all want to say, bro. Canelo's gonna get his ass whooped because y'all already trying to discredit Terrence Crawford already. Canelo fans are trying to discredit Terrence Crawford already, gang. Y'all already trying to discredit. Y'all talking about snack. Y'all talking about everything but Terrence Crawford is more skilled than Canelo Alvarez. So I don't want to hear nothing what y'all be talking about, gang. Y'all trying to make it look like y'all respectful. There's nothing respectful about Canelo Alvarez fans, gang. All they do is try to make excuse for Canelo Alvarez. That's all they do. In every single fight, they try to make excuse for him. Bivol whooped him, and Bivol said, you know what? I want to face off against you for your belt at 168 pounds. And he said no. And that's justifiable in their eyes. They don't care. They just love Canelo. Like, I don't understand his fan base, bro. His fan base don't care about boxing. His fan base just care about him. And that's my problem that I have with them. Like, they weird, bro. Like, get up out of here. If you're a Canelo fan and you believe that he's going to beat Terrence Crawford, just wait till September 13th. There's nothing to talk about. Because I know that Terrence Crawford is way more skilled than Canelo Alvarez. And that's it. They're silly, bro. Canelo won't lose. Bud will run all night. Bud would run all night. You see the excuse? Y'all already started making excuses. You see what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying? Y'all already started making excuses. Bud would run all night. So it's possible for Terrence Crawford could run all night and land more shots than Canelo Alvarez land on him, right? It's possible. So if Terrence Crawford does that, did he win the fight? Because Canelo didn't do shit against Skull, gang. This is an elite fighter facing off against William Skull. He didn't do nothing. If William Skull was supposed to throw more punches, he would have won that fight. Canelo Alvarez is not as good as y'all think he is, bro. He was relying on that steroids. Yeah, he loves so much. Eddie Reynoso's. His seventh fighter. Pop Dirty. And y'all believe Cinnamon is not on steroids? Y'all believe the best fighter in that camp is not on steroids. All the little minions got busted, and y'all believe he's not taking. Get out of here, bro. Get out of here, bro. Get out of here. Get out of here. Canelo's on steroids. Everybody knows Canelo's on steroids. I don't know. I really don't understand like why y'all don't understand. And I break it down for y'all, bro. Every time Canelo Alvarez is moving up in weight, the bigger guy got to worry about Canelo Alvarez's power. Every single time. Y'all could go back and look. The bigger guy has to worry about his power. Why? When Terrence Crawford is moving up in weight, y'all say, oh, this weight is probably too much. Terrence Crawford got to worry about this guy's power. But Canelo Alvarez never have to worry about anybody's power. Why is that? I don't understand. He's a human being too. Why? He's on steroids, gang. He's on steroids, gang. And everybody knows it. And y'all trying to ignore it. Y'all trying to ignore it, and that's not going to stop from Terrence Crawford from whooping his ass. Y'all can talk about Snack all y'all want. Yeah, Snack has never, y'all never have any proof that Snack is doing anything illegal. Y'all just say it. Y'all just say it because Terrence Crawford is in Snack. Y'all just say it. Y'all don't care about nobody else in Snack. Y'all just care about Terrence Crawford. Y'all don't care about Shakur Stevenson. Y'all say Shakur Stevenson is pillow-fisted. You feel me? So y'all don't talk about him being in Snack because that's going to defeat the purpose because he doesn't have that power. You feel me? So y'all talk about Terrence Crawford because Terrence Crawford had the power. Y'all gonna be like, Snack. Y'all, get out of here, bro. We already know what's gonna happen on September 13th. And I promise y'all, I put my house on it. I put my car. I put everything on it that Terrence Crawford is gonna wipe the floor with Canelo. I promise y'all. It's not gonna be the fight that y'all think it's gonna be. I promise y'all. He's gonna stomp a mud hole in Canelo. I promise y'all. I promise y'all. Canelo's slow ass. He's mad. I really don't see what y'all see. But y'all gonna see why Terrence Crawford did what he did to Errol Spence Jr. And I keep on saying this. Canelo Alvarez is not that much of a better fighter than Errol Spence Jr. Mark my words. He has a better head movements. But that's about it. He's not that much of a better fighter, and he's not that more intelligent. If you look at Bivol was landing them straight against Canelo, and Canelo couldn't do nothing about it. Bivol wasn't moving like how Laura was moving. And if you look at the Billy Joe Saunders too, Billy Joe Saunders was a beating Canelo ass. He was beating his ass. He got caught with a great shot. But Billy Joe Saunders and Terrence Crawford, they're completely two different fighters. You understand? Y'all think Canelo Alvarez is going to go in there and beat on Terrence Crawford. I'm telling y'all, bro, this is a man that's hungry, and y'all finally gave him the opportunity that y'all been trying to deny him his whole entire career. Y'all try to stop Manny Pacquiao from the ass whooping that would have retired him for good. He wouldn't be coming back facing off against Mario Barrios if he was supposed to face off against Terrence Crawford. I'm telling y'all, this is a whole different animal. Do not think that Canelo is going to be able to just throw 1 and 2 punches. Terrence Crawford is going to stop him in his tracks. He's going to do things that Canelo Alvarez has never seen before. I'm telling y'all. Remember, I said this on my channel. I've been saying this, that Terrence Crawford is the greatest thing to ever grace the ring. I've been saying this, bro, and he's going to prove that. And you realize he's getting a lot of hate from everybody. And the reason why he's getting a lot of hate, because he's making a lot of people uncomfortable. Because he's climbing the ladder, gang. They don't want to see him climb the ladder. And I've been saying that boxing is a crab in a barrel sport. They believe a fighter can be where they say they can be. You feel me? I say that you can be the top 10 fighter, so you're going to be the top 10 fighter. No matter what you do in the sport and your body of work, you're always going to be that top 10 fighter, because I said it. No matter if you become a 5-division champion, undisputed in 3 different weight divisions, no matter if you do that, you're still going to be the top 10 fighter, because I said it. And you know what we're going to rely on? We're going to rely on resumes, and we're not going to tell the fans that styles make fights. Resumes don't make fights. A fighter could be built. Names can be built. That's not what they're going to tell the boxing fans, gang. That's what I'm telling y'all. Y'all going to be a living proof of Terrence Crawford greatness, gang. No matter what niggas do. He's the only fighter you see fighters create a whole different side of the street and be like, yo, he's on that side of the street. Oh, he never had a belt. Oh, he's this. He's the only fighter that you see that they do that with, gang. At 147, and they attempted to do that at 154. Terrence Crawford was supposed to face off against Tim Tszyu. Tim Tszyu pulled out a negotiation. He went ahead and he tried to negotiate with Keith Thurman. And then he said, all right, F that. I want Sebastian Fundora. Sebastian Fundora faked the nose injury. He said, I want Israel Majimov. Jamel Charlo tried to reinstate himself as a super champion. Bro, no matter what this man tried to do, they try to put barriers in his way. That's what I'm trying to say. He's a whole different type of fighter. And that's why he has that hunger in him. He still have a lot to prove. Canelo Alvarez probably feel like he doesn't have a lot to prove. In my opinion, he does. He still got more to prove, but he feel like he doesn't, and that's the difference. The difference is going to be the hunger, and the difference is going to be the skill set. And you're going to see Terrence Crawford put that together, and this is the biggest fight of his career, and he's going to put on a way better performance than what he did against Errol Spence Jr. He will be moving up 2 weight divisions. This is not Floyd Mayweather that fought him at a catch weight and attempted to put a rehydration. And I want to talk about that too. I know a lot of people not gonna like this, but Floyd Mayweather did attempt to put a rehydration clause on Canelo, and Canelo Alvarez denied it. And Floyd made Canelo sign an NDA to not to talk about what he tried to do. That is facts. So when Blue Blood comes on his channel and he tries to lie and try to protect Floyd Mayweather like what he always do, always talking about, oh, there wasn't no rehydration clause. I don't know where that came from. Yeah, I don't know where that came from. Nigga, it came from Floyd Mayweather. He tried to put a rehydration clause on Canelo, and Canelo Alvarez denied it. You feel me? And Canelo Alvarez later on came out and he spoke about it. So Floyd did try to put a rehydration clause on Canelo to make the record straight, set the record straight. You understand? He did. So don't listen to Blue Blood. He tried to act shocked. Oh, we don't know where that came from, and they totally made that up. No, that was a thing. You understand? But Terrence Crawford will be doing something totally different, right? He'll be moving up 2 weight divisions to be facing off against the younger Canelo Alvarez. That is the best fighter at 168 pounds, gang. Like, he's different, gang. He's different. It's different, bro. And when he do it, he got to be on Mount Rushmore. Take Floyd ass, roll his ass up, and punt his ass somewhere. Kick that nigga somewhere, bro. Kick that nigga somewhere. Take Floyd, roll him up somewhere, line him up, and kick that nigga somewhere, bro. Because Terrence Crawford, he represent what a real boxer is. He represent what a real boxer is, bro. He represent what a Floyd doesn't do that. He doesn't represent what a real boxer is. Terrence Crawford is willing to fight anybody, gang. He's willing to fight anybody. That was not Floyd, gang. Terrence Crawford ain't never told the whole world that, oh, undisputed doesn't matter. Oh, that's sanctioning fees. If you feel like that if that's the case, then you win the belt, and then you drop the belt. You won the belt. You became undisputed. At least do it. He was afraid to do it, bro. Y'all don't even understand. But like I said, gang, September 13th. Tune in. Terrence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez. Terrence Crawford is going to shock the world. He's going to beat Canelo Alvarez. Don't be surprised if you hurt him. You feel me? And that's all I got to say on the topic. You feel me? You say he likes to fight smaller fighters. Yeah, he is the smallest at 168 pounds. Did I say that? Did I say that? When go back in the live and you hear me say you like to fight smaller fighters. I never said that, gang. You trying to put your own shit in there. I never said that. And Canelo Alvarez, he fights bigger fighters. He fights smaller fighters. It doesn't matter. I never said that. You feel me? But one thing I could tell you, he's on steroids. I don't care what nobody wants to say. Canelo's on steroids. Whatever you want to think, whatever you want to say. But is a throwback prize fighter from 19. Yes, Terrence Crawford is a throwback fighter. And I believe he has more dog in him than Canelo. And I believe he has more dog in him than everybody in the sport of boxing. His competitiveness is different. He doesn't want to lose at anything. He doesn't want to lose an inch at anything. And I believe that's what separates him from a lot of fighters. And like I stated, bro, the barriers, when he defeated Kell Brook, y'all said Kell Brook was washed. When he wanted to face off against Manny. Y'all remember this? Y'all remember this? Y'all remember this? Your mother's a bitch. Y'all remember this? When Terrence Crawford tried to face off against Manny Pacquiao. Remember they said, yo, Manny Pacquiao's old. Yo, why you facing off against Manny Pacquiao? Go fight Sean Porter. Oh, he's afraid of Sean Porter. He's afraid of Sean Porter. And then When the fight fell through with Terrence Crawford and Manny Pacquiao, and Errol Spence Jr. got the fight, they was like, oh, Errol Spence Jr., oh, yeah, Errol gonna stop Manny Pacquiao. This is a big defining fight for Errol Spence Jr. career. Y'all remember that? This is what they used to do to this nigga. And I used to be there, and I used to look back, and I used to watch the LDBC, including Blue Blood. That's why it's just so funny and so weird just watching him being an advocate of Terrence Crawford, just including Blue Blood, just sitting here shit on Terrence Crawford the whole time, laughing at him. Oh, money talks, bullshit walks. They used to shit on Terrence Crawford, gang. So the fact that bro is getting this opportunity, he stopped Sean Porter, they made excuses for that. He went in there, he stopped Errol Spence Jr., they made excuses for that. He went up and beat Israel Madrimov, his first fight. They made excuses for that. No matter what this man do, they gonna make excuses for it. So you're never gonna know how true Terrence Crawford is until he retires, gang. You're never gonna know how great he is until he retires. Facts, bro. You're never gonna know how great he is until he retires. Floyd it will never be on his Terrence Crawford level strictly just because of mentality. They have two different mentalities, gang. Floyd mentality, like I stated in my last live, his mentality was not to lose. Like, he didn't want to lose. Floyd mentality was, I'm not going to lose. So he would do shit that was not on the same, even from playing fields as certain fighters. That's what he used to do. That's not Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford don't care if Canelo Alvarez got busted for steroids. He's still going to fight him. Mayweather didn't know if Manny Pacquiao got busted for steroids, if he was taking steroids. He assumed, and he didn't want to fight him. He was talking about his head size. He was talking about his calf size. And Manny Pacquiao was smaller than Floyd. And that's what I'm talking about, is the different mentality. Like, Terrence Crawford is a whole different type of fighter. And come September 13th, I want to see what y'all going to say when y'all see Cinnamon like this on the ropes. On the ropes like this. And you see Bud beating the shit out of him. And you see all his little racist fans that be calling niggas monkeys and all this extra shit. Y'all going to be crying. Y'all going to be crying. Y'all going to be crying. Shut up. Yeah, he's on steroids. Canelo's on steroids. To the whole boxing world, share this video. Canelo is on steroids. I'm gonna keep saying it. Okay, he's on steroids, gang. He's on steroids now, and I've been saying this. It wasn't leading up to the Terrence Crawford fight or none of this. I've been saying that Canelo Alvarez is on steroids. It is obvious. It is obvious. It don't. Stevie Wonder could see that. He is not that good of a fighter. He relies on his power a lot. He is not that good. They trying to make him look that good because he made a lot of money for the sport of boxing. But he relies on power. He is not that good. His IQ is a limited. It's a levels. It's levels. He's right there. He's right here. He is a great fighter. He's not a special fighter. Terrence Crawford is a special fighter. And come September 13th, the man that is moving up 2 weight divisions, the man that y'all said is chinny. Remember that he is chinny. This is a guy that is smaller, that's chinny, that's moving up 2 weight divisions to face off against a guy that got iron chin. The man that we've never seen hurt in his whole entire career. So Terrence Crawford he's supposed to lose this fight. And watch how this man just switched the whole narrative and beat the shit out of Canelo. You're like, nobody mentions race. I know you a Mexican, gang. You talking about nobody mention race, bro. I know you don't see your name, 556P Punisher. Yeah, that be y'all race fans with them type of names that come up. I know you a Mexican, gang. So don't talk about, oh, nobody coming up. I know what y'all be doing. Y'all be coming on here saying a whole bunch of racist shit and be trolling and think people don't know that y'all race baiting fans, gang. So I know you're a Mexican. Floyd the best boxer, period. No, Floyd ain't no best boxer, nothing. Floyd ain't no best boxer, nothing. Yeah, how y'all gonna say Floyd is the best boxer and you seen how he look against Jose Luis Castillo? You think Terrence Crawford would be playing like that with Jose Luis Castillo, brother man? Answer that question, bro. Jose Luis Castillo, that was coming forward, that was throwing reckless shots. You think Terrence Crawford would be playing with him like what Floyd, how Floyd was playing with him, gang? You see the difference between Terrence Crawford and Floyd? Stop comparing them two. Terrence Crawford is a killer. Floyd is a boxer. Yeah, I'm a boxer. Terrence Crawford is trying to hurt you. He's trying to kill you. He's trying to hurt you in the ring. And he's trying to earn the respect of the guy that he's facing off against. Floyd is not that. That's why when Floyd leave the ring, when the opponent leave the ring, a lot of them does not respect him. They do not respect him. They don't respect him. And you can't say the same for Terrence Crawford. Why? Because he's knocking you out or he's hurting you. And he's making you remember that I'm hurting you. Floyd didn't do that. Get out of here. He didn't do that with all his fights. Get out of here. Stop saying Floyd barely had gotten in touch his whole entire career. Bro, do you understand what propaganda is? You understand what propaganda is? Do you understand that people are set to be there to lie about Floyd, to try to switch the narrative, just like how they be set to lie about Lomachenko? It's nothing different. Stop saying Floyd did not get hit his whole career. That is a lie. That is a lie. That is a, go look at his biggest fights. Go look at his biggest fights. Go look at his biggest fights and go look at Terrence Crawford's biggest fights and look at who got hit more in their biggest fights. It's Floyd Mayweather, gang. It's Floyd Mayweather. Jose Luis could still land 200 and something punches on him. When do you ever see Terrence Crawford getting hit like that? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Terrence Crawford never got hit 150 something times in a fight. Are you crazy? Are you crazy? That happened numerous of times with Floyd Mayweather. So what are you talking about, bro? Floyd is more defensive minded because he has to. He has to be more defensive minded because he can't mix it up like that. So he has to be more defensive-minded. That's what people don't want to tell y'all. He's forced to be defensive-minded because of his lack of power punching ability. They don't want to tell you that shit. They're trying to make it look like, oh, he's defensive-minded. No, he has to be more defensive-minded. He has to be. Terrence Crawford can mix it up. He can take a punch. He can sacrifice. He can sacrifice to get what he wants to take a punch. Come on, bro. Stop comparing Floyd to Terrence Crawford, gang. They're two different fighters. Terrence Crawford is a killer. Floyd is a boxer. 50-0. He faced off against Conor McGregor to become 50-0. Y'all weird ass. He faced off against Conor McGregor to become 50-0. And y'all still saying he's 50-0. Y'all still saying it. So y'all, this is just a prime example that y'all don't care about what Floyd does. He faced off against Conor McGregor and y'all still talking about he's 50-0. Like, are y'all serious? And y'all counted that. Y'all actually counted that as a win. This is how much the boxing world glazed Floyd Mayweather, gang. They counted that as a win and say, oh, he's 50-0 after facing off against Conor McGregor. Just imagine if Terrence Crawford was supposed to do that. This is what I be talking about, gang. Like, he could do what he was able to do what he wanted to do in the sport. You cannot rate that guy compared to Terrence. You cannot rate him with Terrence Crawford, gang. Because if Terrence Crawford could have done what he wanted to do, he'd be a 6th division world champion with mad names on his resume. Names, guys that was battered and bruised up, that was losing. He could be able to go down and bring guys up. He could, come on, gang. Terrence Crawford would be way more accomplished if he could have done that. But he couldn't. It's a different time. It's a different time, bro. It's a different time. People just wanted to go out to see Floyd box. Even though before he faced off against Oscar De La Hoya, like I stated on my last live, his resume was not good. He faced off against Zab Judah. That was his best name before he faced off against Oscar. And when he faced off against Oscar, y'all say he could have done whatever he wanted to do. Zab Judah was his best name. So stop talking about Floyd, gang. And Zab Judah came off of a loss by Carlos Baltimore. This is no lie. Stop talking about Floyd to me, bro. Stop talking about Floyd. Canelo Alvarez, he's not on Terrence Crawford level. Let's talk about that. Boxing is more than hands. Mayweather lost 2 fights against Castillo, Mondana. He did lose against Castillo. I watched that fight. Y'all can say whatever y'all want to say again. He lost. Floyd Mayweather looked uncomfortable. Castillo was controlling the fight later on in the rounds. It was not Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather would hit him with 1 shot. Castillo would get him on the ropes, hit him with 5 shots. You got to take that into consideration, bro. When you look at the guy that normally controls the pace and you look at him and he looks very uncomfortable, that should be taken into consideration in the sport of boxing when you're judging a fight. And Castillo made Floyd look uncomfortable later on in them rounds. He definitely did. You don't want a dog fight talk UFC. So you talking about Terrence Crawford do dog fights? Bro, y'all boxing fans, I don't think y'all there. I don't think y'all there. Terrence Crawford methodically break you down and knock you out. It's that simple. It's that simple. It's that simple. Like, his IQ, he has the highest IQ in boxing history, gang. It's not Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather has the best reflex in boxing history. So niggas think it's IQ. It's not Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather got great reflexes. That's why you see when Jose Luis Castillo started throwing 1,000,000 punches, he couldn't dodge all of them. He had to rely on his IQ. And that's why the fight looked like that, because he lacked the IQ. Great reflexes, yeah. But what happens when that man is throwing 1,000,000 punches? Where's the IQ to land a body shot to slow him down? He doesn't have that. Like how Terrence Crawford has that. Stop doing it, gang. I'll expose Floyd Mayweather, gang. I could do it, gang. Stop playing with me. Stop doing it. I would do it. I will show y'all that all the list of fighters that he faced off against that made him great, a lot of these guys got the same fighting style. I would do it. You can't call a fighter great if he's facing off against the same fighting style that caters to his fighting style that he's supposed to look good against. You can't call him great, gang. You can't call him that great to say he's greater than somebody that's facing off against different fighting styles. That's what boxing is about. It's about styles. I keep telling y'all that. And Floyd did not face off against different fighting styles than Terrence Crawford. A lot of them were slow-footed guys that came forward and pressure. You can't. It's just the truth. It's the truth. Go look at his resume, gang. Not lying, gang. They're elite for what they do, but the elite fighting style don't cater to Floyd Mayweather's fighting style. Floyd Mayweather destroyed him with his speed and his quickness, gang. I'm telling y'all, bro. Of course, boxing is corrupted. Puyo won that fight. Canelo fans is gonna need cleanest boxing. I'm telling Canelo Alvarez is gonna get his ass whooped, bro. I'm telling y'all, it's not gonna go how y'all think it's gonna go. It's not gonna go how y'all think it's gonna go. I tell y'all, go back and watch the Billy Joe Saunders fight. Please go back and watch that fight. Please, it was a close fight. A lot of judges had Billy Joe Saunders up in that fight. That Canelo did not look good in that fight either, bro. And Billy Joe Saunders was just boxing him. He was just boxing him. Billy Joe Saunders don't have the same pop as Terrence Crawford. He doesn't have the same IQ, and he doesn't have the same punch placement as Terrence Crawford. He's not more dangerous, and he had a lot of success. Billy Joe Saunders, what, he's 5'9", 5'10"? He's not that much bigger than Terrence Crawford, gang, you feel me? And he was able to control the fight in a lot of parts of that fight against Canelo. Go back and watch that fight, bro. Canelo's not going to win. Y'all said that, bro. Y'all... Canelo fan remind me of Errol Spence Jr. fans. That's who y'all remind me of, bro. Y'all don't understand that history is already set, bro. It's already written in the history books that Terrence Crawford defeated Canelo Alvarez. Y'all gave him an opportunity. That's all he wanted, is just an opportunity. But y'all afraid of who he was as a person and who he is as a fighter. Y'all know that once you put Terrence Crawford in the driver's seat, y'all give him his opportunity. It's a total different fighter. He rise to the occasion, gang. That's why he knocked out every single welterweight. That's never been done in boxing history. Canelo don't have that type of hunger. He don't have that chip on his shoulder. His expectations of himself and his fans' expectation of himself is mediocre. It's mediocre. That's why he's willing to face off against Terrence Crawford, that's moving up 2 weight divisions, rather than facing off against David Benavidez. His mindset and his fans' expectations of him is mediocre. Very mediocre. That's why you're going to see a mediocre Canelo. And when Terrence Crawford show you that as levels, y'all going to try to blame it on something else, man. I'm telling y'all. This is not true. What up, coming? You got over here to keep my eye out for you. What is not true? What have that I say? What I said on this live that's not true? What I said? What I said? Everything that I say has been true. Canelo Alvarez is slow-footed, he lacks IQ, and he's not going to be able to match the mental capacity of a Terrence Crawford. Everything that I said is true. He's not that competitive. You don't see the move that he made? Just the move he made just to show you that he's not that competitive. Why would you want to face off against a guy that is moving up 2 weight divisions rather than facing off against David Benavidez? The fight that everybody, just his mindset, his mindset tells it all, gang. And Terrence Crawford's mindset is way different, and that's gonna show. That's gonna be the deciding factor, bro. And not to mention Terrence Crawford is just way more skilled than Canelo, way more skilled. You're coming from a fandom perspective, not an unbiased boxing analysis. Shut up. How am I coming from a fandom perspective? Shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. Shut up. I said the same thing about Errol Spence, the same thing about Sean Porter. He ain't nothing but better, different. Terrence Crawford is always gonna rise to the occasion. I don't care what nobody want to say, bro. I tell it how it is. What does Canelo do better than... All right, since y'all want to break it down, gang. Since I'm coming from a fandom and then a boxing analysis. All right, since y'all want to break it down. What does Canelo Alvarez do better than Terrence Crawford? What does he do? What? Does he have a better jab? I am a fan of Bud, and you're a fan of Canelo, so shut up. Or does he have a jab? Does his jab is better than Terrence Crawford? Is his foot movement better than Terrence Crawford? Power. That's what he's relying on, and everybody knows it. Terrence Crawford is trying to be respectful, but it's power. His power. He didn't have the IQ to knock out Charlo. If Terence Crawford and Charlo supposed to face off against each other, Terence Crawford would have baptized him. He would have knocked Charlo out. 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 Come on, gang. I don't want to hear nothing about Canelo Alvarez. Y'all keep talking about he has experience. Experience against whom? Experience against whom? Has he ever faced off against a guy that has a 74-inch arm reach, that can switch, that has the dog in him, that watches your whole body language? Everything you do, he's watching you. You understand? That has one of the greatest counter-punching ability in boxing history. He has never seen that. He has never seen the Punisher. All right, y'all gonna learn, bro. Y'all gonna learn. Y'all gonna learn. And Terence Crawford is gonna be the most hated fighter in boxing history. Because guess what? He's able to dethrone two of the most annoying, weirdest, most unintelligent, the most dumbest fan base in boxing history: Errol Spence Jr. fans and Canelo Alvarez fans. He's gonna be able to dethrone two of those fan base. Just imagine that. Just imagine that. Just imagine that, bro. Just imagine Terence Crawford silencing. He already silenced Errol Spence Jr.'s fan base, and he's gonna silence the second dumbest fan base in boxing history. Canelo was the first. Then it's Errol Spence Jr. He's gonna silence y'all. Just imagine that. Just imagine me waking up the next morning. Terence Crawford become 3-division undisputed champion, 5-division champion of the world. Just imagine me waking up seeing that. That's a great feeling. And that's exactly what's going to happen, gang. Because history is going to repeat itself. Canelo Alvarez is a P-U-S-S-Y. And y'all don't want to admit it. He's a P-U-S-S-Y. His whole career, he tried to get the advantage over fighters. His whole career. His first fight, I keep saying this, his first fight, his first championship fight was at a catchweight where he missed weight and paid to keep the belt. That's Canelo Alvarez, gang. That's the mindset he came in boxing with. So he took that mindset and he continued with that mindset throughout his whole entire career, gang. That's the reason why he cheats and he takes steroids, because he wants to have that advantage, because that's his mindset. He doesn't have a winner's mindset. He doesn't have a winner's mindset. He doesn't. He don't. He got to cheat. He got to be comfortable. He has to be comfortable. Get out of here with that bullshit, gang. Get out. Look. Remember I just said that Floyd fought Canelo Alvarez at a catchweight, right? And he tried to put a rehydration clause on him, right? Gervonta Tank Davis fought Ryan Garcia at a catchweight, and he put a rehydration on Ryan, and Ryan still accepted that. What made Canelo Alvarez said no? What made him said no when Ryan did it? What made him said no and Ryan did it? Ryan did it. What made Canelo said no to Floyd catchweight and rehydration clause? And Ryan did it. And y'all be talking about, oh, these fighters these days are punk and this. Why Canelo Alvarez didn't accept the rehydration clause and the catchweight when Ryan Garcia accepted the rehydration clause and the catchweight versus Tank? Get out of here, bro. Canelo's soft, gang. He's soft. He's soft. He's soft. He will fall. He will fall. And I'm tired of telling y'all, the difference between Terence Crawford and the whole boxing world is this, bro. You gotta beat this, bro. You can't, if you can't beat this, you can't beat him. His mind is different, bro. His mind is different. His mind is different. And once you see Cinnamon look vulnerable and you realize the hand speed and the foot speed is just different, then y'all gonna realize that Canelo Alvarez just wasn't that good. And I'm always gonna say he wasn't that good. He faced a lot of fighters that were old as shit, that was 10 years older than him, gang. That was not the same. Just imagine if Terence Crawford got the face off against Manny Pacquiao. That's the best comparison I can use. If Terence Crawford got the face off against Manny Pacquiao, that was all of the fighters that Canelo Alvarez faced off against that made him a legend. All the fighters that he faced off against had age gap. It would have been the same with Terence Crawford facing off against 3 Manny Pacquiaos. Just imagine that. He would have knocked them out. It wouldn't be no close fight. He would have knocked all of them out, gang. And Canelo Alvarez is not able to do that because he's not that good. He doesn't have that IQ. It's all about this, gang. That's what separates Bud from everybody else. And like I said, come September 13th, Terence Bud Crawford, bro. He's gonna be a 5 division champion, undisputed in 3 different weight divisions. You feel me? Stop saying 3 time undisputed champion, because it sounds kind of weird, because he's not in the same weight class becoming undisputed again like what Canelo is doing. Now he's not now he's moving up in weight, so he's 3 division undisputed champion. That's the correct way to say it. Not 3 time undisputed champion. This is making it look like he possibly stood in a weight class and became undisputed 2 times, 3 times. No, he's a 3 division undisputed. That means he became undisputed in this weight class. Became undisputed in a jump, became undisputed in another weight class, then became undisputed in another weight class. That's what Terrence Crawford is able to do, and nobody in the sport of boxing is able to do it. He was the first to do it in the 4 belt era. You feel me? And he still got no credit for doing so. And he's going to be able to be the first fighter to do it again. You feel me? And he's still not gonna get no credit for it, but it is what it is. But I'm about to get up out of here. You feel me? Nigga said Diddy behind you. That's what I be trying to tell y'all. And y'all be thinking I'm lying, bro. If I say that's a Mexican, y'all gonna be like, I'm trying to be racist, right? But if he puts his face on this screen, it's gonna be a Mexican face that pop up on the screen. And y'all think I'm trying to be racist, right? But this is just the reality of it. He's calling me a clown, but this is a Mexican right here. And I'm not lying. He's not denying it. It's just to show y'all, bro. Like, these niggas are just racist. They come on here to be racist and weird. Diddy's behind me. What does Diddy got nothing to do with me? Because Diddy's a black man. What does Diddy got nothing to do with me, gang? What does Diddy got nothing to do with me? You see? Diddy by knockout, by right hand. You niggas is weird, gang. I'm off this, though. It was nice talking to y'all. Y'all. I could tell y'all what y'all need to be worried about, but it's not going to be appropriate for this. So let me get